Now today we are going to discuss about variables concepts. So yes, we know that in Java we are having three types of variables are there. Three types. What are those? Instance, static, local. All these three kinds of variables we'll be trying to discuss this concept today. And after this variables concept, see guys, in instance variables, some points are there. In static variables, some points are there. And in local variables also, some points are there. But 2 points, like 1 point in instance variable, 1 point in static variable, we'll be understanding that concept in our constructors. That is, today we are going to discuss about variables. Tomorrow we are going to start discussing about constructors. Constructor. See guys, right from our second class, right from our second demo class onwards, we have been listening to the word constructor. So what we know about constructor? Constructor that is used to initialize an object. That's it. We don't know anything more about it. So tomorrow we are going to start discussing about constructors. Tomorrow is Thursday. Friday, and Saturday also. Saturday also we'll be trying to discuss about constructors. 3 days we'll be trying to discuss. Third day concept needs today's knowledge. Are you understanding me, guys? Today's class will be connected with Saturday's session. So the reason why I am saying you right now, because revise. Okay. Whenever you are coming for Saturday session, please make sure you are revising our today's session also. All right. Now please keep us writing as variables. Points first. After that, we'll be discussing about the code. Please, variables. Yes, variables are nothing but reserved memory locations. Variables are nothing but reserved memory locations to store. Variables are nothing but reserved memory locations to store values. To store values. Next point. Variables are divided into three types. Variables are divided into three types. First one, instance variables. Second one, static variables. First one is instance variables. Second one is static variables. Third one is local variables. Please keep your setting as instance variables. Please keep the setting as instance variables. Note on a small point for me. The variables which are declared, inside a class, the variables which are declared inside a class, outside any method, or a block, or a constructor, or a constructor are known as ARER, are known as instance variables. Are known as instance variables. Point number 2. We can access an instance variable. We can access an instance variable in two ways. We can access an instance variable in two ways. First one, by using identifier name, by using identifier name. Second one, by using class object. By using class object. Next point. For instance variables, JVM will, for instance variables, JVM will automatically, for instance variables, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default values. For instance variables, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default values of the data types. Default values of the data types. Default values of the data types. Next point. If instance variable, and local variable, if instance variables and local variable are having same name, then the first priority will be given to local variables. Next point. For every instance, a separate copy of instance variable will be created. For every instance, a separate copy of instance variable will be created. Dot, braces open. Inside the braces means how many objects we are creating inside a class. How many objects we are creating inside a class. Those many copies of instance variables, will be created. Those many copies of instance variables will be created. Please underline this point or else keep this point in star. Very, very, very important point. Very important point. Static variables. Please keep your side heading as static variables. Now, take a minute time, guys. Could you please tell me in how many ways we can access an instance variable? Come on, two ways. What are those? By using identifier name and by using class object. Okay, please answer this question also. If instance variable and local variable, sir, what is a local variable? Yeah, we'll discuss. If instance variable and local variable are having same name, then the first priority will be given to local variable. And if you are just declaring an instance variable, you are not assigning any value. Means you are not initializing the local variable, I mean instance variable. One more time. One more time. You are just creating an instance variable. You are not initializing that instance variable. Means you are not providing any values. If you are not providing any value to an instance variable, by default, JVM will automatically initialize an instance variable with the help of a default value. For example, if I'm taking int I did not give any value. Then what would be that I value? 0. Why 0? Default value for int is 0. I hope you're understanding the point here. Now, please keep on understanding as static variables. Note on a small point for me. The variables which are declared, the variables which are declared inside a class, outside any method, outside any method or a block, outside any method or a block or a constructor or a constructor with the help of static keyword, with the help of static keyword are known as static variables, are known as static variables. One more time. The variables which are declared inside a class, outside any method, block or a constructor. Sir, you are saying same for instance variables also. No. For instance variables, there will not be any static keyword. Yes, are you understanding me? One more time. What are static variables? The variables which are declared inside a class, outside any method, block or a constructor with the help of static keyword are known as static variables. Now, guys, please answer this question. Did you remember class loader? I mean, when we had covered class loader concept, when we discussed about internal architecture of JVM. So class loader, how many actions will be done by the class loader? 3 actions. What are those? Loading, linking, initialization. At the time of that initialization, actually I said this point. Guys, in Java, we are having 3 kinds of variables like instance variables, static variables, local variables. For all the variables, generally memory will be assigned whenever we are running, means at the time of runtime only. But for static variables, memory will be assigned to the static variables at the time of class loading by the class loader. Do you remember this statement? Same statement. Please write. Static variables will be initialized. Static variables will be initialized at the time of class loading. At the time of class loading. Dot. Next point. Guys, please answer this question. In how many ways we can access an instance variable? Come on. What are those? Identifier name and class object. We can access an instance variable in 2 ways. Identifier name and class object. We can access, listen, we can access a static variable, listen, we can access a static variable in three ways. Three ways. First one is by using identifier name. Second one is by using class object. Third one is by using class name. We already covered this concept whenever I discussed about main method. Did you remember that main method concept? Same. Please write the point. We can access a static variable. We can access a static variable in three ways. In three ways. First one, by using tell me, identifier name. By using identifier name. Second one, by using class object. By using class object. Third one, by using class name. Perfect. By using class name. Next point. For static variables, JVM will automatically initialize them. For static variables, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default values of the data types. Yes, for static variables, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default values of the data types. Sir, for instance variables also same? Yes, for instance variables and static variables, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default values. Next point. If static variable and local variable and local variable are having same name, then the first priority will be given to local variables. Then the first priority will be given to local variable. Next point. Please keep this point in star. A static variable can never be a static variable can never be a local variable. A static variable can never be a local variable. Dot. Next point, point number 7. Please keep this point in also in star. Actually, very, very important point. Point number 7. There will be only one copy of static variable. There will be only one copy of static variable available throughout the program. There will be only one copy of static variable available throughout the program. Dot. Now, guys, please answer my question. Listen, please tell me in how many ways we can access an instance variable. static variable, three ways. I mean, what are those two ways? Identifier name and class object. What are those three ways? Identifier name, class object, and class name. And yes, if you are just declaring an instance variable, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default values. Same for static variables also. If you are just creating a static variable and if you are not initializing it, JVM will automatically assign that particular static variable with a default value of that particular data type. Okay. Now, guys, please tell me how many copies of instance variable is available in your program? My question, how many copies of instance variable will be available in your program? Sir, how many objects we are creating? Those many copies of instance variable will be available. Am I clear with this? For example, you know how to create an object. How to create an object? First, what we need to write? New. After that, initialize with the help of a. So, for example, I'm writing like I'm trying to create three objects in my program. I'm just trying to create three objects. Could you please tell me how many copies of instance variable will be created? That is 100% correct. When you're speaking about static variable, how many copies of static variable will be available? Only one copy. There is only one copy of static variable available throughout the program. Now, last point in instance variable, last point in static variable, you will be understanding those points in our Saturday session. One more time. Last point in instance variable. Please read that point for me. Please. 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 Last point in instance variable. Slowly. And last point in static variables also. Please. Please. So you will be getting a clear-cut picture about these 2 points in our Saturday session. Don't miss it. Please don't miss it. Okay. Now, please keep your setting as local variables. Local variables, not on a small point. The variables which are declared, the variables which are declared inside a method, the variables which are declared inside a method or a block, inside a method or a block or a constructor. The variables which are declared inside a method or a block or a constructor are known as local variables. Are known as local variables. Next point. We can access a local variable. We can access a local variable only with the help of its. We can access a local variable only with the help of its identifier name. Underline that point, please. We can access a local variable only with the help of its identifier name. Next point. The scope of a local variable, the scope of a local variable is, the scope of a local variable is only within the method. The scope of a local variable is only within the method. Dot. Braces open means we can't access means we can't access a local variable. We can't access a local variable outside the method. We can't access a local variable outside the method. Next point. For local variables, for local variables, for local variables, JVM, for local variables, JVM will not assign any default values, comma. For local variables, JVM will not assign any default values, comma. It is the responsibility of the programmer. It is the responsibility of the programmer to initialize them. It is the responsibility of the programmer to initialize them. Next point. If we are declaring a local variable, if we are declaring a local variable, and if we are not, using that variable, if we are declaring a local variable and if we are not using that variable, then our program will be executed normally, comma. Then our program will be executed normally, comma. But one more time. I'm repeating the point. If we are declaring a local variable, and if we are not using that if we are not using that variable, then our program will be executed normally, comma. But if we are using a local variable, without initialization, we will be getting an compile time error. We will be getting an compile time error dot. Okay. Now take 2 minutes time starting from now, and I want you to kindly please read all these points for me once. Just slowly read all these points for me. Now after that we'll be moving on with the code. Okay. Now, guys, for 15-20 minutes, kindly please concentrate correctly. Easily you'll be able to understand the concepts. So right now, no need to write anything. Please don't write anything. I'll give you the time. I'll give you the time. Okay. You need to help me with the code. Please try to help me with the code. Now, I just want to take some variables. Okay. Let me go like int a equal to 10, static int b equal to 20. And I'm taking a method void method one, and int c equal to 30. Okay. Now, please tell me what is this variable? TANC. This is instance variable. This is static variable. STATIC static variable. And this is local variable. So what do you mean by an instance variable? The variables which are declared inside a class outside any method block or a constructor are known as instance variables. Okay, what about static variables? Same, of course, same. The variables which are declared inside a class outside any method block or a constructor, but with the help of a static keyword are known as static variables. And what are local variables? The variables which are declared inside a method block or a constructor are known as local variables. Okay. Now, for example, system.out.println. Let me just try to go with instance instance variable. Instance variable a plus a. I'm just trying to access my instance variable. And after that, just let me try to access my static variable also. Instance variable, static variable, STATIC, static variable, and local variable. Okay, static variable, I'm going with B, here also B. This is local variable C, and here also I'm going with C, as simple as this. Okay, let me go to my main method, please. Main method. Now, inside my main method, simply I'm just trying to create an object, new class A. Okay, new class A equal to AOBJ belongs to class A, just like this. Okay, just let me window show view console. Okay, let me just try to call my method one, AOBJ dot method one. I'm just trying to call my method one. So let's see. Right click. Come on. Right click. Run as Java application. And we'll be able to print our details like instance variable 10, static variable 20, and local variable that is 30. As simple as this. Okay. Now, guys, please answer my question. In how many ways we can access an instance variable? 2 ways. Okay. Now, just let me try to use the second way. This is first way. This is first way. What is that first way? By using identifier name. This is my first way. Now, please tell me. I want to access it by using second way. Tell me. No, tell me the code. Tell me the code. Go ahead. You know how to create an object. New class A dot A. This is by using class object. I hope you're understanding the point here, guys. Okay, now just let me try to write like this. Right click, run as Java application. And yes, we'll be able to get our output, that is instance variable A. I mean, 2 times we are accessing our instance variables. Now, please tell me in how many ways we can access a static variable, guys? 3 ways. Okay, just one and I mean three. Yes. Now, this is the first way. What is the first way? By using identifier name. What is the second way? Tell me. By using class object. Could you please give me the code? Tell me the code. That tell me new class A dot B. Okay. And now could you please tell me what is the last way? By using class name. Okay. Now please tell me the code. Tell me class A dot B. That's it. For static variables, no need of creating an object. We can access a static variable directly with the help of its respective class name. Kindly please do remember, this is highly recommended approach. Highly recommended approach for static variables. Okay. Now, just let me try to, just a second. I'll be trying to write like this. You know why I'm writing like this, right? Like our cursor will be coming to the next line. Okay, completely a new line. Just let me try to execute. Okay, static variables. Now, when you're speaking about local variable, could you please tell me in how many ways we can access a local variable? Come on, only one way. What is that? By using its identifier name. By using its identifier name. Okay. Now, this is how we are supposed to access an instance variable, access a static variable, and access a local variable. All right. Now, I'll do one thing. For example, I'm going to take one more method. Let me go like void method 2, and now here I'm having int a equal to 100, int b equal to 200. Int a equal to 100, int b equal to 200. Okay. Now, before going to this, I'll do one thing. Let me just try to write 3 statements here. 1, 2, and 3. Right. Now, this is system.out.println, method 2 call, Okay. Just a small line so that it will make sense. Method 2 call. Now, guys, if you observe line number 25, line number 26, and line number 27, all these 3 statements are in comments. Now, my question is, if I remove line number 25 from the comment, am I going to get any error? Only few people are there. What about others? Guys, when I ask you a question, I want you to please think about it. Please think about it. My question is, if I remove line number 25 from the comment, am I going to get any error? Okay, what is happening in line number 25? System.out.println. Okay, instance variable A. Okay, and you are trying to access A. You're trying to access A. You're trying to print our instance variable. So, am I going to get any error? Okay, let me remove this. No error. If I remove line number 26 from the comment, am I going to get any error? Let me remove this from the comment, and of course, I'll not be getting any error. If I remove line number 27 from the comment, am I going to get any error? Yes. Why? What is the scope of a local variable? What is the scope of a local variable? Only, don't forget the word only. Only within that method or else a block or else a constructor. See guys, when you are speaking about an instance variable and a static variable, you can remember this point clearly. You can access an instance variable and a static variable throughout the program. Anywhere inside the program, you can access the scope of an instance variable. The scope of an instance variable and a static variable is throughout the program. Sir, what do you mean by scope? Scope means where you can access. For example, you are staying in your hostel, right? Can you go and sleep in another hostel? What is the scope of you? Means in your hostel only. You cannot come out from your hostel and sleep. Am I right or wrong? Like that. Guys, are you understanding me? For example, okay, take like this. We are Indians. Okay. What is the scope of an Indian? Scope of an Indian? Anywhere in our country, we can roam without visa. Am I right or wrong? Our scope is within our country. Anywhere we can go. Just like that, the scope of a instance variable or static variable is throughout the program. You can access these variables anywhere in your program. I repeat, anywhere in your program. Now, what is the scope of a local variable? Only within that particular method or else a block or else a constructor. So right now in line number 27, whenever you are trying to access C, compiler does not know what is that C. It knows C only if it is present in this method one. Am I clear with this? Respond. Okay. Now I'll do one thing. Just let me try to go with okay, just a small differentiation line here. Just a simple differentiation line. And now I want to go with AOBJ dot method 2. AOBJ dot method 2. Okay, now let's check it out. Right click. Oh, sorry. Line number 27. I'm keeping it in comment, guys. Okay. Line number 27. I'm keeping it in comment. Let me just try to execute. Right click, run as Java application. Method 2. Method 2. And of course, instance variable A, that is 10, static variable B, that is 20. Hang on, I'll do one thing. Instead of writing this line here, I'll try to go with like this. Let us execute. Right click, run as Java application. Okay, this is for method 1 and this is for method 2. Instance variable A 10 and static variable B is 20. Perfect, perfect. Now, let us make our program a little bit interesting. Int A equal to 10, int B equal to 20. Observe. And of course, int C equal to 30. I'll do one thing. Instead of 10, let me make this as 100. 100, 200, and 300. Now, please tell me, what are these variables? Come on. All these are local variables. Okay. Now, if I remove line number 13 from the comment, am I going to get any error? No, I will not be getting any error. That's cool. Okay. Now tell me what is my output here. 100 or 10. Okay. Instance variable A, and we are expecting our output to be 10. We are expecting. I want 10 to be printed. Here I want 20 to be printed. But what would be our output here? 100 and 200. Why? You have already written that point. Please check. If instance variable name and local variable name both are same, then the first priority will be given to. Exactly my point. So right now here we will be getting our output as 100, 200 and 300. Yes. No, no, sir. No, no, no. What? No, sir. I don't want to access my local variable. Here we are accessing a local variable. No, I want to access my instance variable. Here I want to access my instance variable, and here I want to access my static variable. So please tell me, is there any way? Is there any way? I'm giving you 30 seconds time. Think about it. Feel free to discuss. Don't give up. Don't sit idle. Discuss. What I want is, if I'm writing A, I'm getting 100. No, no, no. I don't want to print 100. I want to print the value of my instance variable. So you tell me. Okay. Tell me. Line number 28. I want to access my instance variable. Any ideas? Tell me. See, in how many ways I can access an instance variable? Respond. Two ways. Here I'm using identifier name, and clearly it is failing here. It's failing my requirement. Why it is failing your requirement? Why? Because here you are having a local variable name and instance variable name, both are same. So the first priority will be given to local. Now I want to access my instance variable, then use the second way. What is that? New, come on. New class A dot A. Let me just try to execute, right click, run as Java application, and let's see, am I going to get my requirements done or not? Yes, I'm able to access this. Okay. Did you understand the concept here? Now, I want to access my static variable also. Tell me, what is the best approach for static variable? Tell me the code. Tell me the code. Class A dot B. Now, let me execute, right click, run as Java application. And yes, we'll be getting our output like this. Now, did you understand the point? Like, if instance variable name and local variable name both are same, then the first priority will be given to. Then if we want to access an instance variable, how we need to do that? With the help of class object. If I want to access a static variable, can I resolve that ambiguity? Can I access a static variable with the help of class object? Yes or no? Yes. We can access a static variable with the help of class object also. But what is the recommended approach? By using class name. I hope it's clear, guys. Please respond. Okay, online students, kindly please respond, guys. Am I clear with the point here? Am I clear with the point here, guys? Perfect. Perfect. Now, guys, if you observe in line number 25 and line number 26, we are getting an warning. Listen, listen. You can discuss later. In line number 25 and line number 26, we are getting a warning. Warning means yellow color line. Yellow color line. We are getting this yellow color line. Why we are getting this yellow color line? Because we are declaring it. We are initializing it. But am I using those variables? Am I using A and B in my method? No. That is the reason we are getting a warning. Means compiler version. Ishan, why you are declaring A and B? You are not using them. You are not using them. Then what is the use of declaring A and B? This is like a compiler version. That is the reason you are getting a warning. I believe it's clear, guys, for everyone. Okay. Now, let us come back. Now, okay. Now, let me just try to take one more method. Just let me try to take one more method. Okay. Void method 3. Void method 3. Okay. Now, here, int x, static int y, int x, static int y, and here I'll go with int z. Now, this is instance variable. X is an instance variable. Y is a static variable and Z is a local variable. If you observe all these three variables, I just declared them. I did not initialize them. What do you mean by initialization? Assigning a value. I did not provide any value. Okay. Now just let me try to system.out.println. Okay. System.out.println. And here I'm just trying to have my instance variable. Instance variable X plus X. Now after that, system.out.println static static variable y plus y, and let me just try to keep these things in comment. And one more, system.out.println. I want to keep this one also in comment. Let me make this as a local variable. Local variable, local variable. And what is this? Z plus Z. Okay. Let me remove this line number 38 from the comment. Hang on. Just /n. Okay. Now, this is method 1. Method 2, and I'm trying to call AOBJ dot method 3. Okay. Now let us just try to execute. I'll do one thing. I'll just try to call only method 3. I'm calling only method 3. And let me remove this line number 38. Now guys, please keep this point in mind. I declared instance variables, static variable, and local variable. I did not initialize. Now I am trying to access my instance variable. See, I did not give any value to my instance variable. Let's see what is our output. I believe you can guess it. We should be getting our output as 0. Why we are supposed to get our output as 0? Why? Because who is going to provide the default value for our instance variable? JVM. If you are just declaring a variable, no need to initialize. By default, JVM will automatically initialize an instance variable with the help of its default value. Okay. For example, line number 39. Now, could you please guess it? Tell me. Okay, we'll do one thing. Let me just try to take this as Boolean, Boolean. What am I going to get, true or false? Y false. Default value for Boolean is false. So let's check it out. Am I going to get same output that is false or not? Yes, that is false. Now, guys, up to now, okay, I created a local variable. I did not initialize it. And did I use that local variable in my program? Respond. Up to now, I did not use it. Am I getting any error? Yes, sir. Am I getting any error? No, my program is executing normally. No problem. So what I am trying to say here is, guys, listen. If you are just declaring a local variable, and if you are not using that local variable in your program, nothing will happen. Your program will execute normally, not at all trouble. But if you are using a local variable without initialization, you will be getting an compile time error. Why we are getting a compile time error? Why? Because guys, answer my question. Will JVM assign default values for instance variables? Will JVM provide default value for static variables? Will JVM provide default values for local variables? Whose responsibility is that? Programmer's responsibility. So if you are just declaring a local variable and if you are not using that local variable, then fine, no problem. But if you are using a local variable without initialization, you will be getting an error. See, right now the error, because in line number 40, why we are getting an error? You are literally asking the compiler to print Z value, and compiler is giving you a shot. That is, hey, first you give me the value for Z. Then only I can print the value for Z. Or else how can I print it? Yes, are you understanding me? Respond. So, for example, if I write Z equal to 50. Now, is there any error? No. I believe it's clear, guys, for everyone. So let me remove this, and I'll try to keep line number 14 comment, and here compile time error. We'll be getting a compile time error. Online students, kindly please respond. Am I clear with this concept here? Online students, I want you to kindly please respond, guys. Right. Perfect. Now, guys, first point. Yeah, please tell me, how many types of variables are there? What are those? Instance, static, local. What are instance variables? The variables which are created inside a class, outside any method, block, or a constructor are known as instance variables. Could you please tell me in how many ways we can access an instance variable? What are those? Identifier name and class object. Identifier name and class object. If instance variable and a local variable both are having same name, then the first priority will be given to. Can you resolve that ambiguity? Means I want to access a instance variable. How? With the help of its respective class object. Am I clear with this? Now, guys, one point is left behind in instance variable. That is last point. What is that point? Instance variable. For every instance, a separate copy of instance variable will be created. Means how many objects we are creating in our program, those many copies of instance variable will be created. In order to understand this particular point, you kindly need to wait until Saturday's session. Now, so what are static variables? The variables which are declared inside a class, outside any method, block, or a constructor with static keyword are known as static variables. Could you please tell me in how many ways we can access a static variable? What are those? Identifier name, class object, class name. Okay, if static variable name and a local variable name both are same, then the first priority will be given to. And can you resolve that ambiguity? In how many ways? 2 ways. Perfect. What are those? Class object and class name. What is the recommended approach? Highly impressed. Guys, remember, for static variables, it is always a good programming practice to access a static variable directly with the help of its respective class name. Okay. Now, please tell me, will JVM provide the default value for static variables? Yes or no? Okay. Now, what is the scope of an instance variable? What is the scope of an instance variable? Throughout the program. What is the scope of a static variable? Throughout the program. Now, which variables are known as local variables? The variables which are declared inside a method or a block or a constructor are known as local variables. In how many ways we can access a local variable? So one way. What is that? By using identifier name. What is the scope of a local variable? Only within that particular method, block, or a constructor. Will JVM provide default values for a local variables? Will JVM provide default value for local variables? Whose responsibility is that? Programmer's responsibility. Now listen to this question. If I'm declaring a local variable, I'm not using that local variable. Am I going to get any error in my program? I'm declaring a local variable and I'm using that local variable without initialization. Am I going to get any error? 100%. If you are using a local variable, 100% you need to initialize. Otherwise, you will be getting an compile time error. Am I clear with this? Now answer my question. Instance variable name and local variable name both are same. Then the first priority will be given to. I need answers from everyone. Static variable name and local variable name both are same. Then the first priority will be given to. Local variable name and instance variable name both are same. Then the first priority will be given to. Instance variable name and static variable name both are same. Then the first priority will be given to. Hey, where is local variable in the question? Tell me, did you understand the question? If instance variable name and a static variable name both are same, then the first priority will be given to. Let me show you. Please check this. Guys, listen. Static, listen. Static int x. Then the first priority will be given to error. You cannot have same instance variable name and static variable name. Kindly please do remember that. I hope it's clear, guys. Sir, can I make this as I'll go with char. Okay, you can go with char, but the identifier names both are same. An instance variable name and a static variable name should never be same. If you're writing same, you will be getting an error like duplicate variable name error. I believe it's clear, guys, for everyone. All right, please have this code. Please have this code. Feel free to use shortcuts. Be fast. Guys, first right, first right. Boys, Nana, first right. Please, first right, first right. One more time, I'm requesting, please first write. Later, you can discuss. There are actually, guys, there are different names for instance variable. Instance variable, we can also call that instance variable as global variable, non-static variable. We can also call static variable as, okay, just let me try to write like this. We can call instance variable as global variable or non-static variable. We can call static variable as class variable also. Class variable also. Local variable, generally there is only one name, that is local variable. Make sure you're reading the comments also, please. Write program. Use shortcuts. Write it down only. Please don't sit idle, buddy. Please write a program that reflects all the points which I have given you. Try to write it like this. Why? Because if you are sitting idle, what happens, you'll disturb your friend. You will be getting, your friend will be losing. I don't want that to be happen. Please. Up to line number 20, complete for everyone. Now, 1 minute. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. After that, I'll try to scroll it up. Right. Please. What happened? And kindly please don't leave in the middle of the sessions, guys. It will not be having a huge, nice impact in the class. So, guys, after constructors concept, we are going to discuss about static keyword. We can use static keyword in how many ways? 3 ways. Static keyword, 3 ways. A variable can be declared as a static. Just now you discussed about static variable. A method can be declared as static and a block can be declared as static. So again, I'm going to discuss about static variable, static method and a static block next week only. Still, this concept is not yet completed. It will be like every day we are going to update with our previous points. And one more time, I'm saying this, we can access an instance variable and a static variable throughout the program, anywhere inside the program. Remember that. That's exactly I said. What you're doing now? Right. So please don't miss tomorrow's session. I mean, tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. Very, very important concept we are going to discuss in our tomorrow's session. Constructor. What is a constructor? How many types of constructors are there? What is the use of a constructor?